delighted to be joined, as Tom Harwood has just stated there, by Nigel Huddleston. He's the International Trade Minister. He's also the Tory MP for Mid Worcestershire. Minister, I'm glad you can join me. Thank you very much indeed. Now, let's start with the CPTPP. How much will GDP increase as a result of this trade deal?
Well, it will be considerable, because this is an area of the world where there's predicted to be about half of the world's economic growth over the coming decades. So there's all sorts of forecasts and models out there, but the reality is, let's just focus on the jobs, the economic activity. We're talking about billions of pounds of additional economic activity right across the country. It will benefit every nation and region of the UK. And as the panel just mentioned as well, it's not just about where we are now, but where this could go in the future as well, because we expect the membership of CPTPP to expand over the coming years. So I wouldn't be too obsessed with the current numbers. This is about the potential growth for the UK economy. Well,
we do love a number, Mr Huddleston, and obviously it would be good to know a precise figure, because the criticism has always been that we can't replace what we had with the EU. That's what the Remainers say. I mean, are they right to say that? This can't really be equivalent to the trade that we had, the free trade that we had with the EU.
Well, the EU will continue to be a really important trading partner of the UK, and the TCA, the agreement we've got, is actually one of the most robust free trade agreements on the planet, you know, zero tariffs, zero quotas. But what we need to do is focus not just where we historically have traded and where we used to trade a lot, but where the growth opportunities are, and also trade deals that are fit for the nature of our economy, which is particularly focused, of course, on services as well as goods. And many of the deals that we had when we were in the EU, some of them didn't even mention services, which is 70% of our economy. So a lot of these trade deals we're doing now are far more appropriate and fit for our economy, focus on services as well as goods, and also in areas of massive economic growth. And of course, we wouldn't have been able to do this deal if we were still members of the European Union. We are the first new member of CPTPP. We're the first European country to join CPTPP. So it's quite an achievement.
Is this the point of no return, then, for rejoining the EU? Now we've signed this deal, it's going to be very difficult for any future administration to start clawing back and rejoining the EU. Now we've got these separate deals with other countries.
Well, we have no plans to join the European Union.
But a future government might, and it might not be you, Mr Huddleston.
Well, any governments can negotiate its deals, and of course every agreement, every deal is different. So the terms of the agreements can often be negotiated. CPTPP, though, is an existing club. It's an existing membership club, and if you want to join, you have to apply to it and then accept those existing rules. But I would say, I think we're a long way away from talking about EU membership. It's certainly not our party policy.
I know, but does it make rejoining now? Does it make rejoining the EU impossible?
Every trade deal, literally every trade deal, can be negotiated. So these all of these things are up for future negotiation. But certainly we're very comfortable with CPTPP membership. I think the difference is as well, what we're talking about here is trade deals, and that's really important. We're talking about trade deals. We're not talking about a political and economic union, and I think that's one of the big differences, which your panel, I think, were alluding to as well. You know, this is not like for like. We're not trying to replace the EU with CPTPP. This is a trading opportunity. This is not a political union.
OK. Let's move on now to your colleague Ben Wallace's resignation, announced today in the Sunday Times that he's going to step down at the next reshuffle. This is terrible timing for the Conservative government, isn't it? I mean, we now effectively have a lame duck defence secretary at a time when the threat from Russia and China has never been greater.
Oh, you know Ben better than that. Ben will be laser-focused on delivering right up until the last second.
Well, you say that. He's laser-focused on leaving office, isn't he?
An incredibly talented... No, he'll be absolutely focused on doing his job, as all ministers are, right up until the last minute, because it's really important we deliver on the promises to the British people. He's an incredible talent, but also I respect his decision and other people's decision on both sides of the chamber, by the way, if they decide that actually they want to do something else. This is a very demanding job, being an MP.
Well, why doesn't he go now and let somebody else do the job?
A minister, and we respect his decision. Well, I think because he's delivering very, very well at the moment, and of course any ministerial roles are at the discretion of the Prime Minister. I think it's fair and reasonable that Ben has given the Prime Minister notification that come the next reshuffle he would like to stand down. I think that's perfectly fair for him to make that decision and make that public. But as I said, you know Ben as well as I do, he will be absolutely focused on his job right up until the last second because he's incredibly professional and dedicated.
Doesn't it show a complete lack of faith in the party and the party's future come 2024 to lose somebody as senior as Ben Wallace?
No, you're well aware, every single electoral cycle, MPs on both sides of the chamber decide to stand down for a whole variety of reasons. I think in 2010 it was like 150 or something, including I think 100 Labour MPs. So, you know, the cycles happen and MPs decide to stand down for a variety of reasons. But no, it doesn't exhibit what you say.
Are you going to win any of these by-elections this week, Minister?
We're fighting for every single vote, I can assure you of that. And I've been in Somerton and Frome this weekend. I got very, very good reception on the doorstep. We've got an excellent candidate. And when we're engaging with people, they do understand that their priorities are our priorities. We've been talking about what we're doing with cost of living challenges and so on. And also, I can tell you this, no enthusiasm at all for Keir Starmer or Labour. And also complete confusion as to what on earth the Lib Dems stand for and zero awareness of who their leader is. So
you're confident of winning all of them then?
The opposition are not exactly in a super strong position as well. I'm confident about winning as many elections every time we stand. It's really important that we fight for every single vote. And certainly, I say we've got excellent candidates who would make excellent MPs, and very, very clearly they're the best choice out there. So we're fighting for every single vote, and we'll continue to do so right up until the last second.
And when are you going to scrap inheritance tax?
These are always decisions for the Treasury. We always keep those kind of decisions.
When would you like to see that happen, though, Minister?
There's a lot of speculation out there at the moment. Well, I certainly get representations from my constituents both ways on this issue, and I know those are the considerations that the Treasury will be weighing up.
But should your government be cutting taxes like inheritance tax?
Well, it's an instinct of Conservatives to, when and where possible, to reduce taxes, and that is certainly a long-term goal we always have, because we recognise that every time we spend money, there's no such thing as government money, it's the public's money, and it's really important that they have as much of that in their pockets, decide how they spend as they want to.
So the instincts of
Conservatives are always... again, these are issues and considerations for the Treasury.
Would you like to see tax cuts in the autumn
all roads always lead to the Treasury. I'd like them to carefully consider and make balanced decisions based on the demands as well for public expenditure. So we need to be very, very careful in these decisions. But my long-term instinct is absolutely to reduce taxes. That is, one of the things that differentiates the Conservatives. We believe in small government and low taxes wherever appropriate, balanced, of course, with good public services. So our instincts are in that direction.
Minister, thank you very much indeed for joining me this morning.